Welcome back everyone to Mega Man 8. We destroyed the first 4 set of Robot Masters and now we have 4 new ones, which are protecting the base of Dr. Wily by basically creating a giant energy barrier over it. How does it work? I don't know, but let's just go through with this other set of 4 because it's mandatory in Mega Man to have 8 Robot Masters, and the first of this is Astro Man in this absolutely weird as hell world. Like, this game, it's peculiar in a sense. It doesn't really have Yoku blocks. The disappearing appearing blocks that you have to go over it by following a certain rhythm. But it does have these freaking platforms over here which stay visible for only a short matter of time. It all depends on the D20, which is on the in the sky over there. Once it's just a normal D20, there won't be any platforms, and then once it opens to become this gigantic star, then it will actually make the platform spawn. And also another new thing that we have for Astro Man stage is this gigantic labyrinth. You can see in the back all these stairs that go all different places, like that famous painting, which I don't freaking know the name, which is shameful on my part. I should be checking this stuff out more. But yeah, this is basically a giant free roaming room. We basically go all around to find and push the switches in order to open the way to the exit. There's also risk of basically going over places that we have already been before. There we go. Oh, damn it. And there we go. I could go to the exit right now because, as you can see, it's where the giant skull is, but I kinda wanna collect that bolt, which is basically gonna be the most time-consuming part of this stage, going around and try to find the correct switch to open up all the other roads. Can be time-consuming, but honestly, it's not really all that big. I never get lost in this. I haven't get lost in this place ever, so I think I'm gonna assume it's fine. And now we move into this sinking tower over here. You have to be very careful because, of course, the sand is catching up, and if you get absorbed by the sand, you're basically going to die. There really is no other way around it. Side-scroller on the upward trajectory, but it's not really all that hard. Just keep up the pace and you'll be more than fine. And if you kinda need a lift in case of emergency, there's still the option of using a tornado hold to basically move yourself up as much as possible. But if you keep up the pace, you can still collect some of these bolts that can still be found all over the place. We're still gonna get another couple of power-ups before reaching the end. I love these clocks on the sunflowers. This stage is very weird. It's kind of like being swallowed into a strange, surrealist dream. And these platforms can be quite a bitch because, yeah, as you can see, sometimes the timing is very strict, and with all the flying enemies that came out towards you between this and the freaking frog, or either frog or fleas that keep coming towards you, yeah, you see, the respawning can be quite a bitch. Yeah, at this point I'm scared because I died during practice so many times because of the strict timing of this particular section. Yeah, you see, I cut it so disgustingly close once again. This stage is not that hard, but it can be quite annoying if you're not careful. But yeah, suggested to go with Astro Man first because it's the one which you actually have the weakness for. He's weak to the grenade. This is a much bigger labyrinth, but as you can see, we already know from the start, from the get-go, where the bolt is. So all that we need to do is find the green the green switch that will allow us to basically get to that point. Damn it! I like having this kind of big room. It's something that I enjoy. Whoa! Don't get crushed! It's something that I enjoy about the Mega Man when it came out of the limitation of 8-bit consoles, and it could have these much more sprawling and big stages to basically explore, because you can do a lot more the respect of what you could have done before, and I feel they did try to take advantage of it here. I don't get why Mega Man 8 gets so much flack, honestly, because for what I'm seeing, not only this game looks incredible, but also the stages are all... They're all trying something. It's weird. Mega Man 2, I feel it's a lot of nostalgia going for Mega Man 2, and the game is sure a lot. It has a lot of things going for it, but at the same time can also be the most basic incarnation of the formula, and it's probably also why so many people ended up liking it so much, because there's nothing too much in terms of bullshit going on. While in this one you kind of expect to have something a bit more involved. This is the PlayStation. I really don't know. From what I gather, I still have fun with this game. And now we have Astro Man. A very peculiar design even here. This flying... it seems like, what, it's a flying observatory? Is that what it's supposed to be? I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of hard to get a read on him because he's always in the air. And now the compression is not really showing it at my feet at the moment. But he basically has an attack where he keeps teleporting all over the place, and you basically have to stay right underneath him. Otherwise that meteor rain is gonna flush all over you, and it's gonna be quite a bit of trouble. So it will take a bit of patience in order to actually get it done against him. Especially since there are many times where you can't be able to hit him because it doesn't stay down in the air, down for way too long. But its main form of attack is these two satellites over him, which are not that hard to avoid, honestly. Yeah, you see the lingering effect of the grenade really makes short work of whatever he might have going on for him. So yeah, Astro Man is done, and we get a very nice new power-up from him. Basically, I think it's another inspiration taken from Mega Man X, because the Astro Crash, I think it's called. Astro Crash, thank you! This is basically an armor crash, which like in the X series. So basically a giant screen nuke. And now we get another part for me, and I'm gonna take the extra spare parts. This basically allows you to start with 4 lives instead of 2, which to some might seem like a waste, but honestly, if you're having trouble and you don't want to redo an entire stage all that often, I will suggest you to just take the 4 lives at the start after a game over, because it's 2 attempts more on fucking up, which can be quite helpful, honestly. And now we move on to Aquaman stage, and it's the water stage. And this is something that I didn't really touch the beginning part, but they have implemented this thing with Mega Man where we can actually swim this time. In Mega Man 1, Mega Man 2, because 1 did not have underwater stages, I think. Yeah, it had a section with water, but it wasn't really an underwater stage. But yeah, underwater was treated pretty much like like, you know, gravity. there really wasn't that much difference. You just have to dose your jump and not get skewered by the spikes that are all over the place. That was usually the trade-off with the water stages in earlier Mega Man games. In 8, they decided to have you actually being able to swim. Just jump a couple of times and Mega Man will actually start swimming, and honestly, I like this. Water stages, as always in platformers, get a bit of a bad rap, but I never actually minded having them. And I honestly like the fact that we can actually swim. It gives a whole new dimension to these stages and allows you to do something more than just the usual fare. And now we have this mini-boss that will stay hidden behind the waterfall until he decides to basically spawn out of it. And as always with mini-bosses, just equip the grenade and try to basically hit him. The issue against this guy is gonna be that this frame is very big and you're also constantly falling, so might be a little tricky to avoid all of his attacks and actually try to hit him, because as you see, the projectiles kinda tend to fly upward instead of just shooting horizontally, because yeah, we are basically fighting him on a free fall. So yeah, you have to kinda be careful. No, yeah, it's not that the projectiles go up. The projectiles do go in a straight line, but we are free falling, so they're just gonna stay in place. There we go. That's basically that's more accurate to what the hell is happening. But yeah, just try to find a way to get your shots in, and just use the grenade, because it's gonna do a lot more damage than any other weapon that you have. The grenade is always the answer in this type of scenarios. So yeah, this fight can be kinda tricky just to hit the enemy, but otherwise it's not really that hard. And as always, you should not be concerned about weapon consumption, because right after this boss we get a transition and all of our weapons are going to be recharged. And I should talk about all the items that we are collecting right after the bosses. Those are actually expansion for Rush, which I'm basically not using because I don't think Rush has any usage in this game, from what I know. There's the one that we got right against this boss is basically a Rush call that will allow us to basically have him as an helper for get some healing, and thank you! That is the Astro Crush that I just used, because as you saw, there was a crack in the ceiling that would basically suggest you that the ceiling could have been broken, and in fact, if you manage to break it by using the Astro Crush, we can get another bolt for our collection. So yeah, Rush doesn't really get a lot of uses outside of the item that we collected now, which is the Rush, a Rush call. Basically, Rush will fly over the stage in a couple of trips, and he basically gonna drop off some energy refill, and that's basically the only thing you have, which is similar to what the energy tanks are. Because this game doesn't have any energy tanks, doesn't have any weapon tank, you have yourself and basically your life, so good luck. This can be a bit of an issue when you get to the end, because you really have to master learning the bosses. But honestly, I don't think this game kinda needs energy tanks, because of the fact that we have the levels constantly being split up in the middle and constantly giving you a huge life and energy refill. So yeah, it may be kind of a neat safety net to have, but it really is not something mandatory for this game. It's fine not having them here, at least for me, because this game gets the reputation of being really easy, and honestly it is. It's not the hardest Mega Man games around, but I do like what they did with the bosses, because compared to Mega Man 7, they stopped having the pattern reset all the time. So now you actually kinda have to learn the pattern sometimes, which can be quite a pain with stuff like Tengu Man, honestly. Tengu Man, Clown Man, some fights here are actually challenging. Aquaman is not one of those fights because his weakness is the Astro Crush, and he really gets a powerful reaction to the Astro Crush. He gets basically sent all over the place. He's one of the few that really have a violent reaction to its weakness, so as you can see, his life gets drained constantly, and also the Astro Crush gives us a ton of invincibility frame that we can basically abuse to avoid getting hit by him. So yeah, Aquaman, not that much trouble in this game. And with that, the first two Robot Master are gone. We have the last two in the next part, which is gonna be quite interesting because there's a very cool stage waiting for us. But right now we get the Aqua Balloon, and I am Markus. Take care of yourself, everyone. Have a very nice day. I will see you in the next video.